Okay, so bad D&D story time. I don't expect this to be any good. I'm just recording it because I thought it'd be fun. So, if you're aware of what D&D is, there's the DM who does just makes a story. Players who play in the story, and one of the big things that a DM has to do is he has to run an encounter. So, I'm playing for a group of people. I've got two people that I'm playing for or DMing for. I've got one group which is level 13 and not a fun group to DM at all. But there's another group that I fight or that I have, and they're level 20s. And only 4 of them showed up. So I decided that I was just going to make them fight like a CR 21 because that's not too far out of the range. That's like just decent. They've got some pretty nice magic items, so it's like, okay, who cares? Well, what they did was I decided that I was going to make them fight a lich, right? So they lured the lich out into an open area where there was no ceiling or anything. And I was like, okay, I want to see how this works. So I brought him out there, right? Up until this point, they had been doing things to egg him on. He was at about 98 life, right? Or 98 HP, which is not that low considering the fact that he's got 135 max. So I was like, okay, well, this is still a pretty decent fight for them. Up till this point, he had killed one person, which was not good, but I needed to work on that. But the point is, he was out there. So the party is composed of a bard, a fighter, a wizard, and a cleric. Now, the bard has he took something, I forget what it's called, but bards can have it, which is it gives them 3 spells from any class list. He took Power Word Kill, Fireball, and one other one, I don't remember. But the Fireball isn't important, but the Power Word Kill is. Up until this point, he'd used 2 legendary resistances. The wizard was out of his 9th level spell slot, and the bard only had his 1 9th level spell slot. They forgot about his 3rd legendary resistance, so they tried to cast Power Word Kill on him, which he had to use his last one because he failed the save. But the point is, after that, they were like, wait, if we cast something on him and he fails, he just fails, right? Because this is his maximum amount. They thought about it, and that's when they were like, okay, we're going to drag him outside. At this point, they drug him outside, open area, no ceiling, and the wizard decided he was going to cast Polymorph on the lich. I was like, okay, he's got a decently high wisdom. His wisdom saves are actually like +9, so I was like, okay, he can make this. He failed by like 2, right? I said, okay, well, you can't really damage him that much in while he's like that, because if you hurt him, he just goes back to normal form. What they turned him into was, I think it was like a worm. And the wizard, he just automatically used they managed to get the bard. Oh, that's what it was. Is he had his 3rd spell was what's it called? Find Familiar. And what that does is it gives you like a little animal. And he chose an eagle. Now, the eagle, what it did is he sent the eagle to go pick up the worm. And they took the worm, like, I don't remember how many feet in the air, but it was a crap ton. Like, it was really high. I think it was about 1,000. And at that point, they decided to drop the lich. And I just said, okay, well, I just thought to myself, when he hits the ground, his normal form won't take damage because he'll just be knocked out of Polymorph. And right before he managed to hit the ground, they decided that they were going to let go of Polymorph. So the lich just falls down with, I think from 1,000 feet up, which is 100 d6, and he only had 99 HP. Which I was like, okay, well, that won't kill him because he's got immunity to non-magical bludgeoning, which is what falling damage is. When they pulled out a door. Now, I gave them an extended bag of holding that is literally just a bag of infinite holding. you can fit anything in it. It's essentially a cartoon fanny pack, right? In cartoons fanny packs, you will be able to, like, you'll see the cartoon fanny pack. Somebody will pull an RPG out of it because it's huge. It shouldn't fit in there, but it does. So that's essentially what I made the bag of holding. Now this door was a magical door. It could speak when you spoke to it. And earlier in the session, they were like, okay, if we deal damage with this thing, does that mean it's magical damage? And I said, I guess so, right? Because I didn't know how they were going to deal damage with the door. I thought they would probably pick it up. Like the barbarian with a 24 strength would probably pick it up and smack someone with it. I had no clue. So as this happened, the mage, or the wizard, decided he was going to pull out the door and place it under the lich, because the lich had a long way to fall. So as he hits the ground, he smacks onto this magical door. And that's magical damage, as I had already specified. So it just insta killed my lich, which was kind of like, I mean, it was annoying, but I don't care. I didn't even think about it. And that's when I realized something is, it did more than 3 times his HP, right? So the lich gets instantly destroyed. And the reason they were hunting the lich was to get his spell book, because he had a spell that they wanted, which was, I think it was like, Power Word Stun, I think, and the wizard wanted that spell. And so they went and tried to hunt more liches through the entire session, but forgot to take a long rest. The cleric had to heal the dead fighter, bring him back to life, which is always a good thing to do if you want to waste a high-level spell slot. And so on their way to fight the next one, what they encountered was a Kotao, just a single Kotao. Now, if you know anything about Kotao, it's that they like serve or created Cthulhu, which is another big baddie of the session. I didn't even think about it. This was just a normal Kotao, like in the sense that most goblins are evil, but you'll see like a goblin NPC every once in a while. They convinced the Kotao to go back to his home, where he essentially lives, or well, where he does live, and talk to every single Kotao to see if they could find a way to get to Cthulhu. Now, it didn't matter if they found a way to get to Cthulhu. It didn't really matter, because as they do, I was like, there's no way they're going to try and take on this huge monster, and actually find a way to either kill it or not die themselves. So they found their way to Cthulhu. It was scary. It was meant to avoid, for them to avoid Cthulhu. They didn't. They decided that they were going to be dumb and invade his privacy, essentially, and it was TPK, right after killing a lich with a door. So they all yelled at me, and I said that a random passerby Kotao decided they were going to drag the bodies back to the village, because it was like a Kotao that was working for the good guys, and not Cthulhu, and Cthulhu had no clue, blah blah blah. The point is, I essentially got them resurrected, or the cleric resurrected, who in turn resurrected his friends. But